Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to Gurukul Online Learning Network. Today's subject is Business Organization and Management, Chapter 2, Business Environment. So, our today's topic will be explaining the concept of business environment and identify the explain element of business environment. So, made in Bangladesh, garments not only are the major imported apparel items to USA, Canada and Europe from Bangladesh, but also these are an active image ambassador of the country and its people, helps to create a positive impression of Bangladesh. On a recent Board of Investment BOI statement, it is predicted that Bangladesh expects US $10 billion plus worth of investment within next few years from countries like Taiwan, India, Middle East and Far East. And besides that, direct investment from Europe and USA. It has to be accepted here that the success story of Bangladeshi industry and skilled workforce plays a vital role there with the great potential of the country. So this was just the basic of the chapter. Now we'll talk about the environment. Environment is the sum total of our surroundings of a living organism, including natural forces and all other living things which provide conditions for development and growth as well as of danger and damage. So environment is basically called what we are surrounded with. It can be natural or it can be artificial forces like organisms, including natural forces and other living things. So it includes culture, that the individual is being educated or lives, and the people and its institution with whom they interact. The environment has high significant impact on business all over the world. Like say for example, why they mentioned that environment has a high significant on business. Suppose you want to open a restaurant, you just can't open it in a deserty area where there are no kind of people or any commercial areas. If you want to actually open it, you have to go to some urban places like where there are commercial areas and surroundings of people. So concept of business environment. Environment is the circumstances, optics or conditions by which one is surrounded or the complex of physical, chemical or biotic factors such as climate, soil and living things that act upon an organism for ecological community and ultimately determine its form of survival on the aggregate of social and cultural conditions that influence the life of an individual community. So at here it is discussing, basically it's telling about the survival of a human that needs the environment. It is explaining the environment around it. So in just as that, the same as the ratio, it can be altered with the business environment. So these are the various things that a human need to live, but these are as same as the business environments. Thus, business environment includes all the customers and persons, institutions, regulation agencies, operators and competitors external to the business firm will stop. Business cannot operate in a vacuum. Like as I said, we cannot just run any business on a deserted area. Business is a member of the society and its association of the members are the members of the society. Business is supporter and of supported by the society. So the last line I'll explain. Business is the supporter. In a society, business supports various kinds of peoples from poor to the richest and supported by the society. And if you do not support a business, that business cannot support you. So it's a give and take relation, transactional relation. From the above definition of the discussion, we learned the term business environment means it's combination of different natural and non-natural elements. As we explained, the human's environment and the business environment, those both can be related in a certain way. The internal and the external have a significant role in the managerial activities. It is essential to consider external and internal elements in time of managerial decisions. So that means managerial decisions can be taken in external or internal decisions. Elements of business environment. Business environment basically have 6 elements. Those are natural, economic, social, political, legal and technological. These 6 are considered one of the main 6 elements of business. There are various subcategories of elements of business. Natural environment. The natural environment encompasses all living and non-living things occurring naturally on earth or some region thereof. So this line can say the natural environment encompasses all living and non-living things. A natural environment consists of living beings. Living beings, suppose example, humans. Non-living things we can say transportations like the ships and the cargoes or the planes, anything we say. So it is the environment that interacts with all of the living species. Climate, weather and natural resources that affect human survival and economic activity. climate and weather that affects the human survival and the economic activity. That means in the middle of a storm, you just cannot open your business, or in just a deserted area or in a flooded area, you just cannot open a business. That will downwards the economic activity of any sort of business. So that's why they said climate, weather and natural resources affect the human survival and both the economic activity. The business and economic activity of any country largely depends on the geographical or natural environment. Suppose we need to say like the tea that we get from Sylhet, it needs high rain. So that because of the high rain, it is cultivated in the hilly areas due to much rain. So it can grow properly and well. And then we can say from the Eastern Arabian countries, due to climate change, the nature of the soil are not well developed in agro-based sector. As like Bangladesh is an agricultural based country, the lands are fertile and we have so many rivers to take water from. But countries like Middle Eastern Arabian, like Saudi Arab or Dubai, those countries are mostly deserted areas. There are only deserts, but no natural sources of water. That's why they said those kinds of countries are not well suitable for agro-based sectors. They cannot cultivate enough crops for them. That's why they have to import those. Economic environment. Economic environment refers to all those economic factors which have a bearing on the functions of a business. Economy is one of the main factors of business, as I foretold. Business depends on the economic environment for all need and inputs. Economic factors include economic variables for factors of an economy, especially the state of economy, annual growth rate, common economic system, economic philosophy, cyclical fluctuation, inflation rate, balance of trade and balance of payment, economic policy, economic condition and economic relations. These are so many categories of economy, like the economic environment. These all are into the economic environments. Each element in the environment affects the functioning of business in various ways. For example, share market, capital market, bank rates, inflation and per capita income. The way share market or the suppose let's talk about the share market. Share market affects the economic environment of a business vastly, because if the share market is going well, your business will take a uptrend, and if your share market is not going so well, investors are not willing to invest in your company, your share market won't be so good. That's how the economic position of your business will be going downwards. Social environment. The social environment refers to all immediate physical and social settings in which people live in, which something happens or develops after its birth. A baby first comes in contact with the mother and then the other members of the family. The contact and the behavior of the family members influence the conduct of the child. So that means a child's behavior basically depends on the surrounded society it grew up in. If your parents and the society and the other friends and siblings, if they're not good mannered, the newborn child won't be raised in a good or well behaved manner. If the society around it is very well mannered, the child is most probable to have a very good behavior or be well mannered. So just like that, a particular social system where a man lives is called a social environment. Man blooms to his social environment, as I said. It influences on a person's economic, psychological and moral life. Social values and norms, social groups and institutions, historical background, cultural heritage, population growth and etc. also included in the influence of social environment. So social environment is impacted by social groups, historical background or cultural heritages, as we know of. Legal environment. Legalization in every business is top-notch prioritized. Legal environment constitutes the laws and various legislations of works in business. A businessman cannot overlook the legislations because he has to perform his business transaction within the framework of legal environment. As we all know, if a business has to be conducted, it has to be in a legal way. If you're doing something illegally and earning money out of it, it is not considered as a business. Every common legislation that affects the business transactions are Consumer Law, Money Laundering Act, Copyright Act, Essential Commodities Act, Former Weights and Measures Act. Suppose, let's discuss about the Copyright Act. Suppose if you just made something or not inventing, you just have your something and it's in your own company, you have to claim a Copyright Act. That means other cannot steal your product or your brand name. So if you do that, that will be illegalized. That's why they said legal environment is one of the most prioritized sectors in business environment. The business development of our country can be improved by upgrading the legal environments. Technological environment. Technological environments includes the methods and techniques of the process adopted for the production of goods and services and its distributions. For example, in ancient times when people used to do business and there were no technology around, they used to, or they had to walk on feet and tell everyone about their business, that they're starting a new business, that you should come and you participate, or you just purchase from us, or you can take, and any kinds of activities related to business, they had to go through people. There was no kind of modernization and or technological advancements. But in modern competitive age, in order to survive and persistent growth in business, a business has to adopt the technological changes from time to time. For example, we have various kinds of social multimedias to expand our business, advertise for those, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever we say, most of it. We can advertise our business on any of these platforms. It is to be said that at this era, any business cannot survive without IT. For example, USA, Japan, and China are the leading countries in progressing their business sector based on technological development. As well as Bangladesh is also trying to take their business environment level to the US, Japan, and China. That's all for today. Thank you. And if you have any kind of questions or comments regarding this class, please let us know in the comment section below, and stay with Gurukul.